This dense Arabic calligraphy is supposed to represent the text of the Necronomicon, the most notorious book of forbidden knowledge in all of fiction. According to the lore, it was penned by Abdul Alhazred, the figure often referred to as the Mad Arab. His fictional biography is meticulously detailed. He supposedly spent 10 years wandering the Rhode al-Khali, the desolate empty quarter of Arabia, worshipping ancient cosmic entities like Yog-Sothoth and Cthulhu. The lore even documents his exact end. In the year 738 AD, in a crowded Damascus marketplace, Alhazred was reportedly seized by an invisible monster in broad daylight and devoured horribly before a large number of witnesses. Lovecraft grounded this character in such specific geography and history that for decades, readers have scoured library catalogs and historical records, convinced that Alhazred actually lived. Yet for all the historical detail, the illusion falls apart when you look closely at the center of his name. We can see why Abdul Alhazred is a grammatical impossibility in Arabic. The name has a redundant definite article. Abdul is a contraction of Abd al, meaning servant of the. By adding Alhazred, Lovecraft created a stuttering translation, servant of the Hazred. HP Lovecraft was famously obsessive about his world-building, so why would the architect of cosmic horror make such a basic, clumsy error when naming his most important chronicler? The answer lies in Providence, Rhode Island, in the late 1890s. Here, a 5-year-old Lovecraft first encountered a copy of 1001 Arabian Nights. The boy became obsessed with the book's exotic imagery. Living in a sheltered Victorian household, he eventually demanded his mother build him a dedicated Arabian corner in his bedroom, where he could surround himself with Oriental curios. The name Abdul Alhazred originated right here, as a pretend pseudonym the 5-year-old boy invented for himself during playtime. Years later, Lovecraft recalled that the name was either suggested by a family lawyer or was simply a childish pun on the phrase "all has read," a nod to his own voracious reading habits. The grammatical blunder exists simply because the most infamous chronicler in horror literature was the creation of a child playing make-believe. As Lovecraft grew into adulthood, his perspective changed. The innocent pseudonym from his childhood began to reflect his adult anxieties. Lovecraft's well-documented xenophobia led him to adopt common early 20th century viewpoints that viewed non-Western cultures with intense suspicion. He utilized these stereotypes to frame the Middle East as a mysterious, un-Christian fringe. It was a landscape he could populate with ancient sorceries that were inherently alien to his New England sensibilities. He took his childhood game and fused it with his adult prejudices, transforming a whimsical playtime name into a vessel for cosmic dread. This shift raises an important question. Why did the author of these destructive truths have to be an Arab in Lovecraft's mind? Lovecraft was writing at a time when the West viewed the history of the Middle East through a lens of sorcery and demonology, ignoring the actual history of the 8th century Arab world, an era of rigorous mathematics and structured learning. This geometric pattern represents that historical reality. While scholars in Baghdad codified algebra and geometry, Lovecraft imagined a complete inversion of that order. He turned Alhazred into an apostate rejecting logic. In the Necronomicon, mathematical laws don't just fail, they dissolve into a formless void. That is the reality of Abdul Alhazred. He is a character born from a child's fascination with fairy tales and an adult's fear of the unfamiliar. That unique concoction of otherness is why he endures. Lovecraft's Mad Arab remains the essential witness to a universe that doesn't care if we exist.